This video is sponsored by Wildlife Command Center Coffee. More about them at the end of the video. Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Dark Park Film Reviews. And tonight we are going to be looking at two Roger Corman DVD collections. And I love these collections. They were brought out through Retromedia, which is Fred Olin Ray. I cannot thank Fred Olin Ray enough for making these. Roger Corman is the shit to me. If I had to do kind of like a scale, I would say Roger Corman, God, then James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, and then everybody else. So it's just that simple. I don't care what you think. It's just that simple. Corman is the best, with directing, producing, writing. I mean, it's this guy changed Hollywood from his very first film up until not even now, because he's still making movies. And I have loved everything that this guy has done, to different degrees, of course. Pardon me. But I just think that he is just absolutely amazing. So when I saw that Fred Olin Ray and Retromedia brought these collections out, I had to pick them up. The first one that we're going to be looking at is called the Roger Corman Puerto Rico Trilogy. And it's hosted by Roger Corman. And this is great. I mean, this to me is just, it's the three films that he shot in Puerto Rico, and their special editions. And I love the cover that it's all painted art, except there's like a big just photo of Roger Corman right there while everything else is painted. But it has in it the Last Woman on Earth, Creature from the Haunted Sea, and Battle of Blood Island. And what these, and there's the side there, show you the back with my fingers there. So what you're getting is, pardon me. So these are restored from the 35 color elements. So the films that are in color. You get, Last Woman on Earth, Creature from the Haunted Sea, and Battle of Blood Island. You get three great movies hosted by the legendary Roger Corman, and he actually does host these, which is nice. He just doesn't do one interview for all three films. He does an interview at the beginning of each movie, and they run different lengths. The quality of each film, it does vary because these are old films, but Fred Olin Ray is one to trust. When he says restored from the 35 millimeter color elements. The Last Woman on Earth is color. He shot it originally in color, but there is a black and white version of it that I believe was made for, was like converted for television, and has additional scenes. You can find that on YouTube. Then Creature from the Haunted Sea is black and white. And then Battle of Blood Island is also black and white. It's actually the only one on here that's not directed by Corman. This one is directed by Joel M. Rapp. It says here, special two-sided DVD, which it is. There's the Retromedia logo. And it's saying color and black and white, not rated. Approximately 3.5 hours of stone cold thrills. And it's Roger Corman Puerto Rico Trilogy. It's got its Retromedia code, special edition copyright MMV, Retromedia Entertainment Inc. And it does say to store under cool dry conditions. I'm going to just show the inside, and then I'm going to read some of the other stuff that's on here. So as you can see, this is a double-sided disc. Disc 1 is Last Woman on Earth and bonus features. And we'll get to those in a moment. You flip it over, and then you get, excuse me, Creature from the Haunted Sea, and Battle of Blood Island is on the other side. A lot of people bash on Creature from the Haunted Sea because the creature is pretty silly looking. They had made these two movies, and they had time left over and money, so they made Creature from the Haunted Sea. I love the way the monster looks. I don't care that it looks cheesy. It's one of my favorite Corman films. It's actually kind of a remake of Creature from the Haunted Cave, but just instead of a cave in snow, it's Puerto Rico and water. So let's look at the back here. So what this says is, in 1960, citing certain tax advantages as an incentive, independent producer director Roger Corman and company set sail for the sunny island of Puerto Rico with the intention of filming two low-budget films, Battle of Blood Island and Last Woman on Earth, back to back. The lush tropical paradise offered a unique backdrop for Corman to work against, and before vacating the territory, he toyed with the idea of sneaking one last film since the actors, crew, and equipment were already placed. This is the utter genius of Roger Corman. I mean, you know, if you haven't read his book, How I Made 100 Movies, and I think it's 100 movies, and Never Lost a Dime, you got to read it. Literally overnight, a script was created by quickly rewriting Roger Corman's earlier production, Beast from the Haunted Cave, 1959. The Puerto Rico version was dubbed Creature from the Haunted Sea. Last Woman on Earth was afforded the luxury of being lensed in color and features a screenplay by legendary Robert Towne, Chinatown. But he also did many other movies too. I mean, Chinatown would probably be his biggest that he wrote. Who was also coerced into playing one of the leading roles in the film. And Corman talks about that. He talks about how Robert Towne couldn't finish the script in time because he didn't write fast. And so the only way of getting the script done is that he had to do dual jobs. So he had to be the screenwriter and the actor. And that way they could afford to bring him down, and he could write as they were going along to finish the film. So once again, fucking genius. Finally seen here in a restored color version from a rare 35 millimeter print source, the film can at least be appreciated for the elegant, thought-provoking sci-fi drama that it is. And it's a good movie. I really like it. Now down here, so that was the description. And then down here, I'm going to read, so Last Woman on Earth, 35 millimeter color digital, 1.851 letterboxed transfer, which is the way the film should be seen. For a long time, it was done as a full frame, and you missed out on a lot of picture. You may only be able to get certain versions of this film on YouTube as full frame, but it's worth watching it in black and white also. It also comes with the original theatrical trailer, additional TV scenes, actors commentary track by Anton Carbone, Betsy Jones Moreland, Fred Olen Ray, and Steve Latshaw. And Steve Latshaw is a director in his own right. He directed a film that I really liked called Dark Universe, which I believe Fred Olen Ray produced. And then Fred did another one of my Alien ripoff favorite films called Deep Space that I really enjoyed. So that's for Last Woman on Earth. Then Creature from the Haunted Sea, remastered 185 to 1, letterboxed transfer, original theatrical trailer, additional TV scenes, actors commentary track by Anthony Carbone, Betsy Jones Moreland, and Steve Latshaw. Then Battle of Blood Island, additional TV scenes, director's commentary by the director of the film, Joel M. Rapp. Because you got to remember, back in the day, movies were made, a lot of these films were made for drive-ins. And then when TV came around, they were too short. And they, the filmmakers or producers or whoever it would be, would go out and shoot additional scenes to reach that runtime on television. So a lot of times, and this went a long time. I mean, if you remember when, for example, when Halloween played on TV, when Halloween 2 was going to be released, there were all those additional TV, scenes added, so it would reach a 2-hour time slot with the commercials. And they did it with a whole bunch of movies. And some of these films, Superman, the movie, is notorious for that it was done as a miniseries. It was a 2-part thing. And there's a ton of footage missing that I wish that they would just incorporate back into the Superman movie. But, that's for a whole other thing. But they just used to do that a long time ago. They don't do those things anymore, unfortunately. And some additional, info that I got here. So the Puerto Rico Trilogy, side 1, like I said, is Last Woman on Earth. And then it has the introduction by Roger Corman, which all 3 of these, and like I said, they vary in length. He gives anecdotes, he gives behind the scenes, he gives trivia, he talks about posters, title changes, he talks about actors, he talks about screenwriters, he talks about himself, as a director or a producer on the film. It's Corman is one of those guys that you just want to listen to. He just has that voice, that his intelligence, that for a guy who makes a film, Humanoids from the Deep, which a lot of people, a lot of mainstream people are just like, oh God, that's awful. It's a lot of these filmmakers are very intelligent. And, Wes Craven, I think, is one, that's a very smart person. I mean, he used to be an English teacher before he got into film. So listening to Roger Corman is a treat. Other filmmakers that are interesting to listen to are ones that I just mentioned. John Carpenter is always interesting to listen to. Spielberg is interesting to listen to. James Cameron is interesting to listen to. George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, especially the old guys. Peter Bogdanovich is always interesting, and they're worth listening to. They're worth getting those interviews on YouTube and hearing what they have to say about film, because film is not the same today as it was back then. I mean, things are just done so differently. But back to this. Hold on for one sec. I got my my Star Wars mug today. So Star Wars back there. And there's Star Wars there. I will not be calling it A New Hope. As you can see, it just says Star Wars. Because when I was a kid, I saw it as Star Wars, not A New Hope. So I actually want to get mugs for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi too. Because to me, the only ones that count are the original trilogy. Maybe the prequels, thanks to Disney doing their sequels, they made the prequels even better. But back to this. So Last Woman on Earth, including the intro by Roger Corman, which is 7 minutes. It's a total of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 5 seconds. So it's worth that 7 minutes sitting through it. And then, of course, on side 1 is also all the special features. Now, there are so many special features, I took a picture. And I will just tell you these as you can see right here, this is all of them here. So you get Last Woman trailer, Last Woman TV scenes, Haunted Sea trailer, Haunted Sea TV scenes, Blood Island TV scenes, still gallery. You get the commentary on or off for Last Woman on Earth. There is the Corman trailer collection. Excuse me. Retro website, DVD websites, and then you could click back to the main menu. So that's all on disc 1. And then on disc 2 is where you get Creature from the Haunted Sea and Battle of Blood Island. And I don't know if you could see it here on the back, but there's where is it? There's the cheesy monster from Creature from the Haunted Sea. You got a picture from Last Woman on Earth, Last Woman on Earth, and then this is Battle of Blood Island here. So with that, the Creature from the Haunted Sea, the total runtime on that is 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 12 seconds. The Roger Corman intro is 4 minutes. And then Battle of Blood Island, including the intro, is 1 hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 11 seconds. The intro by Roger Corman is 2 minutes long. And there is a commentary for both on that side for Creature from the Haunted Sea and Battle of Blood Island. So you're getting, excuse me. So you got the commentary for Last Woman is on side A, and then the commentaries for Creature and Battle are on side B. And this is the actual picture of Roger Corman when he's doing his intros, which is nice. They just didn't grab something off of Google. So this is definitely worth it. I love this disc. So, I mean, it's such a great idea putting all 3 of the Puerto Rico movies together. Now, the bigger one, and this is also, Retromedia, Fred Olen Ray. This is another great disc. And I bought this immediately when I saw it. I don't know if there's more discs out there that Fred Olen Ray did. I could only find these 2. But once again, it's worth picking up. So it's the Roger Corman Russian Sci-Fi collection. And it's a 2-disc set. As you can see here in huge letters, actually bigger than the titles of the movies, it says widescreen. And these are pictures from the movies. It's actually nice art because it actually looks like Corman art. Painted posters are always better than just a picture. And the films that you get on this are Battle Beyond the Sun, Planet of the Storms, Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. And here's the side. Get back. So what Corman used to do is he would buy all these movies. Like the only one that's missing from here is Queen of Blood. And I'll get into that in a second. I think that's MGM, which is why it's not on here. They do mention it on the back, but that's falls into this category. Because what Corman would do is he would buy a bunch of like Russian science fiction movies. So let's just say he bought something like 5 Russian films. And he would then have people that worked for him, and it could be Peter Bogdanovich, it could be Francis Ford Coppola, it could be, any of these people that worked for him at that time. And they all, of course, wanted to direct movies, but they had to prove themselves to Corman. So what he would say is, okay, fine, take this one movie and make it into 2. And so like Peter Bogdanovich would go work on one, Francis Ford Coppola would go work on another one. And you could at times you would sometimes get the foreign film and then the American version, or you could get the foreign film and then 2 American versions. And these directors would go out and re-edit the movies, retitle them. They would dub them, hire American actors, primarily, B-movie actors, and put in a whole different subplot. Or they would just put in a whole new plot. And they would get these films and then they would play in the drive-ins as double features. So that's what these primarily are these Russian movies that were reconstructed, re-edited, reshot, recasted, redubbed into these movies. And like I said, the only one that's really missing is Queen of Blood. And so let's take a look at there's the side there. Take a look at the back here. And I'll do the same as I did before. Let's look at the inside, then we'll read the back. So this is the only negative. I don't like that they did this. One, I like how they spelled disc with a K. I don't know if that's a Russian thing, maybe, since we spell it with a C. But that's disc 1. And it's just the same disc, but slightly colored differently for disc 2. But as you could see, the movies are not listed on the DVDs. So before I started this video, I sat down and said, okay, well, let me just write down on a piece of paper what movies are on what disc. And I ended up getting like 2 whole pages of notes just from the DVDs, not even watching the movies. And that goes along with the Puerto Rico one too. There was so much information on these that I had to write it all down. So on the back here, there is I'm not even sure what film this is from. This might be from one of the versions of maybe like Voyage to a Prehistoric Planet, but there's a poster here that looks like it's in Russian, and a monster robot, and there's the damsel in distress. And then here's the American version of Battle Beyond the Sun as a poster. Let's see. So the special features, which are pretty nice, have Mammy Van Doorn video featurette. So we'll get a little more into detail from my notes on these. Planet of Storms French booklet scan, and then audio, and then commentary track with Fred Olen Ray and David Dakota. And that's on one of the films. I believe that is on the Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women, has the audio commentary by both of them. So it's the Russian Sci-Fi collection. It's not rated, color approximately 300 minutes. And programs are presented in the 133:1 and 166:1 wide screen enhanced for 16:9 TVs. There's the Retromedia logo. And once again, it does say store under cool, dry conditions. So don't leave these out in the rain. So let's see. So let's look at the back here. So in the mid 1960s, Roger Corman purchased the U.S. rights to a handful of Soviet sci-fi movies. Some of these I'm not going to be able to pronounce because they're in Russian. So, but one of them is PLANETA Burr, which is Planet of Storms, 1962. The Sky Beckons, I cannot pronounce its Soviet title, but 1959, and A Dream Comes True, 1963. Yeah, there's no way I'm even going to get close to those. From these 3 movies, Roger Corman fashioned 4 new movies. Okay, so here's Queen of Blood. Queen of Blood, 1966. Battle Beyond the Sun, 1962. Voyage to a Prehistoric Planet, 1965. And Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women, 1968. Three had theatrical runs, with Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet being sold directly to television via AIP TV. Corman handled the retooling of the films off to a talented group of young directors, including Francis Ford Coppola, who worked on Battle Beyond the Sun, Peter Bogdanovich, who worked on Prehistoric Women, and Curtis Harrington, who worked on Queen of Blood and Prehistoric Planet. So Peter Bogdanovich was Prehistoric Women. Curtis Harrington was Queen and Prehistoric Planet. American stars like Basil Rathbone, Faith Montague, and Mamie Van Dorm were pressed into service, filming their roles in a matter of days. Included in this collection are widescreen versions of Battle and Prehistoric Women, which enjoyed a brief outing in drive-ins. PLANETA Burr is presented in Russian with English subtitles. Ooh, that's nice. And Prehistoric Planet is presented full frame. So widescreen looks like this. Full frame looks more like that. So you can find, once again, YouTube, as much as we have a love-hate relationship with YouTube, like most creators do, you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube. You can find the original Russian versions of these films. Some are widescreen, some are full frame, some are dubbed, some are subtitled. But you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube. I did, and I downloaded it and I kept it. I have my little Roger Corman file that says, like Russian films or foreign films. And because they're interesting to watch and, when you compare them. So with looking at my notes here, so disc 1, which, like I said, they don't list what movies are on here. So disc 1 is Battle Beyond the Sun. It runs 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 46 seconds. The thing that's interesting with this, and also it's one of the prehistoric films, has Paul Frees as the narrator. A lot of you may not know who Paul Frees is, but back in the day, this guy was huge for doing voiceovers because of his voice. It was very deep. He was very well known. And he's actually in the very first Thing movie, Thing from Another World. His voice really stands out. He is also the voice for the Haunted House in Disney, or the Haunted Mansion. I'm sorry, Disney's Haunted Mansion. He's the voice when you enter. I don't know if they have anyone. I haven't been to Disney in years, but he was or still is the voice. Very well known, like voice actor, known actor, and he also directed some movies too. So it's nice to hear Paul Frees on that. Then Planet of Storms, which is, they call it Planet of Storms, but then when you watch the movie, it has its original Russian name on it. So everything is in Russian. And it's subtitles, so it is the Russian version of the film. It runs 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 42 seconds. There's then a documentary called Being Mammy, and it's about Mammy Van Dorn, and it runs 22 minutes and 9 seconds. Disc 2 has Voyage to the Planet of the Prehistoric Women. And that's the one that has the audio commentary track with Fred and David. It runs 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 9 seconds. Then there's Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, which runs 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 52 seconds. And then what's really cool is the third thing on this disc, like I'd mentioned when I was reading the back, is Planet of the Storm's booklet. And what this is that this is the original Russian photo novel. And it runs, if you just let it run through, it's 5 minutes and 32 seconds. So somebody found the original, like basically like comic book of the film, which has actual photos from the movie. And then it's got the little tells you up in a little box what's happening in the panel. And somebody scanned it and you get that. That's really cool. Done with that page. So what I noticed was doing a little bit more research on this is, let's see. So Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. It's directed by Derek Thomas. It came out in 1967, but the narrator in it is Peter Bogdanovich. And that's worth taking note of right there. And then Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet stars Basil Rathbone, always a great thing to have. That is directed by John Sebastian. Battle Beyond the Sun is kind of like really the interesting one here. First of all, it has one of its production assistants is Jack Hill, who continued to work for Roger Corman for a while. And then he went off to do the Ator series, which are those Conan ripoffs with Miles O'Keefe. So he is, I guess, early in his career, he was a production assistant for Roger Corman. The associate producer on Battle Beyond the Sun is Francis Ford Coppola. And the special music by Carmen Coppola. So his dad was even helping him out way back when with doing soundtracks for films that he was working on. The director of the film is Thomas Kolchart. I think that's how you say his name. A lot of the times, sometimes these big directors do use fake names. So I'm not really sure if these aren't like Peter Bogdanovich or Francis Ford Coppola. They may or may not be. And I wanted to take a look at, so I have up here, Queen of Blood. So Queen of Blood is from 1966. I really like the movie. And so I don't think that's the same. Yeah. So March 1966, 81 minutes. Its budget was $65,000 and it ended up making, 17.3 million. And that was as of October 1st, 1966. The film is normally known as Queen of Blood, but it can also go as Planet of Blood. And it does star, it's got a good cast in it. John Saxon, Basil Rathbone, Dennis Hopper, Forrest J. Ackerman. So it's one of those movies that just got, taken, here's a Russian movie, go make it into an American film. Battle Beyond the Sun has, I guess if you include the original version, it's got its 2 directors listed on Wiki. And then it does list Francis Ford Coppola for additional sequences in the US version. So this is technically an early directing job for Corman. The US version is produced by, I'm sorry, not for Corman, but for Francis Ford Coppola. So it's one of his first technically directed films in a way, before Dementia 13. And then the US version is produced by Roger Corman. Jack Hill He also did additional sequences for the US version. So he was not just a PA. I mean, that's pretty big, going from a PA up to a cinematographer. I mean, with Corman, you just did a little bit of everything. Music, yeah, they're showing Carmine Coppola, US version. So the Russian version was 1959, US was 1962. It runs 64 minutes. It does not have a budget or how much the film made. It doesn't talk about its cast, but it does give versions of or tells you about the different versions of the films, the Russian compared to the American. Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. So I'm right. So directed by Peter Bogdanovich, but he uses the name Derek Thomas. American version produced by Corman. Mamie Van Dorn would be the only really known person. Narrated by Peter Bogdanovich. Distributed by AIP TV, 1968, 78 minutes. It does not give any budget or how much money it made. Let's see, let's look at its cast and see if it lists anybody. No. So she would be, maybe Van Dorn would be the only person that was known. Then Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet. And that's the Curtis Harrington. What has Curtis Harrington done? Let's take a look at him. He's done a lot. So let's see. Did a whole bunch of short films. He started directing way back when, in like 1942. He did a version of Fall of the House of Usher. Bunch of short films, theatrical films. He did a movie called Night Tide, which was done in, which is the film that Roger Corman saw and was impressed and wanted him to come work for him. So it was made in 61, but not released until 63. He also did, Voyage to the Prehistoric Women. He also did Queen of Blood. What's the Matter with Helen? Who Slew Auntie Roo? Ruby. He did a couple other movies that were known to like horror fans. TV movies, How Awful About Alan, which is Anthony Perkins. He did The Cat Creature, Killer Bees, The Dead Don't Die, and Devil Dog, The Hound of Hell. Wow, he did a lot of stuff. TV series, episode of Twilight Zone, Dynasty, Hotel, Dark Room. That was a good one. Wonder Woman, Charlie's Angels, Vegas, Logan's Run TV show. That was a good one. Many more. And he was also an actor. So yeah, he acted in his version of Fall of the House of Usher. Oh, wow. He was in Gods and Monsters, the 1998 film. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, so he did a lot. And I think, and this one, as far as cast goes, let's see here, because we clicked on Curtis. So Roger Corman is listed as a producer. It stars Basil Rathbone. He's really the only known actor in here. Music is by a great composer-conductor, Ronald Stein. I own a few of his soundtracks. Came out in 1965, 78 minutes, USSR and USA. Nobody else known except for Basil Rathbone. And if you don't know who Basil Rathbone is, you should be embarrassed. Yeah, that's pretty much about it that I can get off that. So yeah, so that's pretty much my rundown on these collections. I really do highly recommend both of these. I have a whole bunch of Roger Corman stuff. So I'll probably do other videos on Corman. for films that he directed and produced, or even just acquired and released through like, his companies, that he has, like New World. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. New World or Concord, New Horizon. But yeah, definitely pick these up. I got them off of Amazon. I think that they were pretty cheap, but I did buy them a while ago. So I don't know if they've gone up in value. And I don't think I have any more notes. No, that's it. So I was going to take a drink in the middle of, at the beginning of a sentence. So thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for continuing to watch my videos. Please give a like. Leave a comment if you would like, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I just really want to grow this video. I know that a lot of other videos have thousands or millions of likes and subscribers and all that stuff. I'm just looking for 100 right now. That's what I'm looking for. I think I have 86 subscribers. I'd really like to hit 100 by the end of the year. I think that that would be great. And I really appreciate it. Please remember, this YouTube channel is meant to be more positive than it is negative, but I will be posting things that are negative, unfortunately, but I'll always try to put like a positive spin. My Rob Zombie video for Halloween 1 and 2 were probably more negative, but I also did point out a lot of things I liked in them, so I did try to make them a little more positive. And yeah, so please, even with comments and stuff like that, just be respectful, be nice to people. It takes a lot to make these types of films, and unless you have something constructive to say, kind of like what I did with the Rob Zombie films, just don't comment, just go. So, all right, thank you so much. Thank you once again. I really appreciate it, and I will be back later on with more videos. Thanks. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out after the video. And thank you for watching the very first Dark Park Films sponsored video. And who is that sponsor? Well, I've now learned if I do this with my hands, they go to the right area. There we go. That would be Wildlife Command Center Coffee. And you can purchase it right there. You can go to their website, which is buyWCC.com, and pick up their coffee. They have 2 blends, which I'm going to show you now. The first coffee is this one right here. This is a breakfast blend. It's 10 ounces, and it is a medium ground. And it does say, and it's breakfast, like I said, and this is what it says right here. It says, early bird can catch the worm. So there you go, a breakfast blend coffee that helps you catch the worm in the morning. And I really like this one. I'm more of a breakfast kind of blend coffee guy in the morning. So this one I really like. It has that little bit of oomph to it to kind of get you moving, get you up and out. And so I really enjoy this one, but that doesn't mean that I don't like the other one, which is this one right here. This is a dark roast. It is also 10 ounces, and both of these are $7.99 at their website. Pretty good price for 10 ounces worth of ground coffee. This one is, it's a little darker. So it's, I think it's better for drinking at night. Maybe if you're, writing a screenplay, or if you're filming, this has got that oomph, that double punch to get you going. So this is one that I also recommend. I like both of these quite a bit, but I kind of do, the breakfast in the morning and then the dark more at night. So I recommend both of these quite a bit. And how did I find out about these two, these two coffees here? And how did I find out about Wildlife Command Center? Well, when I was working on Night of the Zomghouls, there was a box of coffee that was just sitting there, filled with coffee. and we didn't know what to do with it. Like, whose is this? Who brought it? Why is it here? And so we just kept going to the store and buying coffee. And then one day I said, why don't we just get the coffee out of the box and use that instead of, wasting money on going to Smith's or whatever and picking up coffee. So we did. We did not realize that it was the Wildlife Command Center coffee, and that it, was sponsoring the movie. And it was great coffee. Everybody loved it. And we just went right through it. By the last day of filming, this coffee was gone. And I went and found out, about Wildlife Command Center, asked if they would like to be a sponsor for Dark Park Films, for their coffee. As many of you know, I love coffee. I love coffee mugs. And so this was a perfect match. And Wildlife Command Center is great with animals. So they provide a great service for rescuing animals. So it's kind of that double whammy for me, where coffee, helping animals, you can't go wrong. And they were even cool enough to send me, get in there, a coffee mug, because they knew that I liked coffee mugs. And right now, I don't get that. A little bit. I'm going to go on the keyboard, but that's their dark blend, because I'm recording this at night. So I am actually drinking that while recording. Also, one thing that you can get at their website, which is cool, is you can get this. There you go. This pocket knife, which is $9.49. And this is pretty cool because it has their name on it. Wildlife Command Center, we can catch it. And this is what it looks like. Put that down there. There we go. Fully out. So you're getting like the bottle opener, you got the corkscrew, you got a screwdriver, you got a blade, and then you got this little hook thing that you could pop it into something that doesn't have a tab, and then the liquid or whatever in there will come out. So this is pretty cool. And I'm just going to keep mine in my car, because you never know. You might need a pocket knife. So please support them. I'm going to have links down below, where you can, check out just the Wildlife Command Center. I'll also have a link for Wildlife Command Center coffee. And it will basically be for both these guys right here. And please support them. I support them. I think what they do is pretty awesome. And maybe this coffee will be on your set or in your kitchen. It will definitely be, on my set in my kitchen. I know that. So please, once again, I'm going to show you these. Please go to their website and pick up their coffee and make it part of your day or night, depending on which one you like. So that'll be about it. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, so thank you. And once again, please support my channel. Please support the Wildlife Command Center, and I will catch you later. Bye.